Hey folks, it's Vic Noble here with your weekly trade example for the week ending December the 7th, 2012. Boy, we're grinding our way towards the end of the year here. You know, I got in the coach's corner today. I'm recording this on Thursday. There was a guy in there, one of our members, Martin, and he sent in a very cool trade. I really liked his analysis on it. And you know, you always hear me talking about the higher time frame strengths and all this kind of thing. Well, this is a chart of the U.S. Swiss pair, and what he saw was this divergence where the price was going lower here and the MACD was going higher, and it ended up qualifying as a pattern number 5 on a daily chart. Exactly what we teach in the recurring Forex patterns course, which he has that. But what he saw on this, the reason he liked this trade is because if you go to the weekly chart, he saw this on the weekly chart. This was excellent. He saw that this whole level in here was a really good level of prior support and resistance. Look at this. It was support, and it just fiddled around here. Then it went down. It was resistance. Went down. I mean, this is like April. Back it comes. You know, April in 2011. Sorry. Back it comes up in October, November to October of 2011. Like a long time afterwards. And look at what it did. It saw that level and down it went. And it hit it again. Down it went. And finally, in 2012, it broke above it here. Even after it broke above it, though, it became a support level a little bit here, and here, and finally broke below it. Resistance, resistance, touched it here. The next week, it went above it like this, and now look where it's come back down to. And look at the support in here. And when he saw this, he also saw the daily chart showing some support in here, like this. But not only that, it was showing MACD positive divergence while this was all happening. So he ended up getting long, and he still got the trade. In fact, the profit potential on this trade is going to be 300 and some odd pips on it if it goes to its target up, which is up here somewhere. But he got in down, I don't know, 92.80 area, some of that. So he's probably up. He's been up. I think he was up 50 pips at one time, almost 60 pips. Shirley Hudson took the same trade. Well, you know what else happened too? After he was in the trade, this is pretty cool. When this what these are is like a big head and shoulders pattern. This is like an inverted head and shoulders, and this would be like the head, the left shoulder, and then the right shoulder gets formed, and we're very specific about how we want to see that form. Well, what happened is that when this right shoulder was forming, there was actually other trades on the smaller time frames that were also diverging. Here's one right here where the price was going down, the MACD was going up, and managed to catch this one right down here. See this 92.50? She caught it right here at 92.52. Actually, was her actual entry with a stop. She put a stop down below this low here, and she ended up with 15 pips of risk. And by the time she got out of it all, which was up in this area, she had to live through a bit of all this, but she took this as a bit of a longer term position. She ended up with average of 45 pips out of it with a 15 pip risk. That's 3 to 1. Yeah, and she's also still holding a longer term position off of the day trade, the daily MACD positive divergence. So you can imagine the reward to risk on that's going to be really good if she's able to get that. But the thing is, it's a free look now because she's already paid for the longer term trade with the profit on the shorter term trade. So nothing bad can happen here. So really, really nice trade. But I just really want to point out to you guys is, even if you're day trading, make sure you look at the weekly chart too. Even look at your monthly charts and see where are we in the big picture here. Are we at a place that we need to be a little bit cautious of or whatever? It's very interesting what you'll see. You look at the British pound right now. I was just looking at this one here. Isn't this an interesting chart here? This is forming a tremendous wedge in here. Something's going to happen in here, I'll tell you that. And this is very interesting, but stay tuned. I mean, look at it keeps hitting the top and the bottom, and how it's all the touch points along here. That's a really nice little trend line. It's all setting up here for something. So stay tuned, because something's going to happen. It's going to break one way or another. And but what we want to do is follow price. We don't have to predict which way it's going to go or anything like that. We just want to follow price and see how these levels all hold. But you can see, when you get these levels in here, how nice they are. They all of this, resistance and support and support and support, and it finally breaks down. Where does it rally up to? This level right here. You see, so it's really really good levels to watch. Look at this level here. Just the low that was hit in here. I just put a line on there just so you can see. I mean, I just find this stuff fascinating. Where it was a resistance, then it was support, and it broke, and a long time later it came up, and look what it was, resistance again. So if you've been watching this chart, you would know, you could be alerted that that's a potential where you could get a really nice move down, and maybe you want to hang on to a trade a little bit longer than normal when you see that you're at a resistance level like that. I think we'll leave it at that. I thought that was a very cool little trade that this guy took today or a few days ago on the Swissy. And by the way, today, Thursday, we had quite a big drop in the euro today. Let's have a look at that one. See if we could have anticipated that it was coming off of anything interesting on its chart, on its weekly chart. We go to the weekly chart here. Well, look at this. Look where it hit today. You see how it was resistance in here? This is back in September. We actually support back in here, and then it became resistance, 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 and look where it peaked out today. It actually popped up here, touch that, and look at this rejection here. So now we're going to keep an eye on this and see what happens if we're going to get some further downside movement on this thing, because that's what price is telling us right now. So there you go. Don't forget your weekly charts. They can really be helpful for your bigger picture scenario of what's going on. All right, there's your weekly trade example for the week ending December the 7th. You guys have a great weekend. Week ahead next week. Get your Christmas shopping done. All right, and we'll be back at the end of next week with another weekly trade example. Thanks so much.